it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Monday, August 21st. So today we will have the moon in Libra for the majority of the day, but we are going to see that moon in Libra go void, of course, at 4:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be locking into Scorpio energy, 7:23 p.m. Everybody just cringes when I say the moon in Scorpio because it's dark, it's heavy, it's intense, it's passionate. It is a major change, a major transformation, and many people run far, far away from any opportunity to change or transform, even when we've been praying for it. So we can expect over the next couple of days of the moon being in Scorpio energy, where we are going to have a major emotional shift, and especially seeing as we will have the moon in Scorpio kind of usher out Leo season and usher in Virgo season, not to mention Mercury go retrograde. We're definitely in for some adjustments, for some changes, for some transformations, and inner fine tuning is definitely the name of the game. So there are 10 different aspects here today. 8 of them are going to involve the moon. The moon, while still in Libran energy, is going to make an interaction with Mercury, of course, in his place of power in this Virgo energy, preparing to go retrograde, but not there yet. This is a disconnect between our heart and our head, but a realization on what it is that we can do to get back on the same page. The moon in Libra, of course, wants to find balance, wants to make peace, wants to find harmony in our emotional realms, especially where our head is concerned. Mercury, though, in this Virgo energy, preparing to go retrograde, kind of stuck on what is irritating us, what isn't working, what is painful, what is not so pleasurable. This, again, going to illuminate where we're not on the same page, but at the same token, illuminate where it is that we can take extra time, energy, and put forth extra efforts in order to get in alignment. The moon will then interact with Uranus, the Great Awakener, who is in this Taurus energy. And this is going to illuminate for us some choices, some decisions that, of course, the moon in Libra is not going to be able to make. Indecisiveness is the strongest of Libran traits. We are definitely in that indecisive nature, especially when considering the different changes and transformations that we know are coming at us here in our physical realm. That Uranian energy usually provides clarity. This time it's going to bring confusion. Why? Because the moon in Libra is so indecisive that we tend to kind of pick things to death and make things a little bit more complicated than they need to be. The moon is then going to interact with Mars, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desire, kind of finalizing his time in this Virgo energy before he moves into Libran energy here next week. This particular interaction is going to kind of perk us up a little bit, really inspire us, really motivate us, really kind of put us in a position to try and want to focus on a goal, on a dream, on a vision, and really kind of emotionally speaking, get our engines revved up so that we actually care enough to pursue the path that we are going to want to pursue. That path may not be very clear at the moment, and that's okay. The moon is going to illuminate the clarity on those particular steps in moving forward when we have a direct opposition to the North Node in Aries energy. Libran and Aries energy sit across from each other in the zodiac wheel. We are definitely going to be illuminated on what we feel like we should be doing as far as including other people, trying to make other people happy, consider other people's thoughts, views, and opinions on what it is that we want to be doing versus kind of saying screw it and just aligning with what it is that we feel we should be doing for ourselves. So that Aries energy, again, is about me, the individual. You know, what makes me happy? What do I want? What do I need? What do I desire? What do I want to pursue? What am I excited about? What am I passionate about? Versus the Libran energy, who tends to kind of dim one's own wants, needs, and desires to consider the wants, needs, and desires of the relationship, the team, the group, the collective, whatever the case may be. So as you know, the North Node in this Aries energy means that the South Node is in Libran energy. And this means that the moon is essentially sitting on the South Node in Libra as it opposes the North Node in Aries energy. the want, need, and desire to kind of fall back on what is tried, tested, and true, which is, considering other people's thoughts and opinions and perspectives over our own, and being a little bit people pleasing and sacrificing our own wants, needs, and desires. That's the natural disposition that many of us will fall back into. That's the South Node. That's what we have to grow out of. What we have to grow into is kind of dividing ourselves, separating ourselves, detaching ourselves, disconnecting ourselves from other people's thoughts and opinions, and some people physically altogether, in order for us to get focused on what it is that we need to be doing for ourselves. The moon is then going to interact with Neptune, who is retrograde in Pisces, which of course is his place of power, which is going to bring a level of confusion, really exasperate and intensify that existing indecision that we're already having because of the moon in Libra. And the confusion is going to come mostly stemming from the energy that I just talked about with the North Node and the South Node, and the lessons that we're supposed to be learning and our natural fall back to what is tried, tested, and true. But the moon kind of interacting with Neptune in this way is going to, yes, bring the confusion, but also bring a disconnect with our intuition. We're really starting to kind of feel like we're lost, like we're in a fog, like clarity is never going to come. We're uninspired, we're unmotivated. We can definitely get down on ourselves because we get overwhelmed with the thoughts, with the decisions, with the emotions that we're currently sitting in. The sun in Leo energy is going to interact with Pluto, the great transformer himself, who is retrograde in Capricorn energy, which is going to illuminate for us where things aren't working. Now, this obviously isn't going to feel good. It is going to be intense. It is going to be an extreme. It is going to bring on the funk. It's going to make us feel like we're blocked, like we're challenged, like we're held back, like we're restricted for good reason. We have to understand what isn't working so that we can come up with a better solution. And this ultimately is showing us where adjustments are 100% needing to be made, or 100% necessary in our here and now, if we have any chance of hell of actually moving on, moving forward, progressing. So yeah, it's probably not going to feel so good to have a bright light shone on what isn't working, what's blocking us, what's challenging us. And of course, we might not come up with the alternatives, with the solutions right away. But one thing we know is sure to be illuminated is where things have to change. The moon is then going to interact in a positive way with Venus, who again is retrograde still in the heart and soul of the zodiac in this Leo energy. Libran energy, of course, ruled over by Venus. So this is a little bit of an intense interaction. And what we're being illuminated to is reminding ourselves of how much we've grown, how much we've healed, what it is that we need to do for ourselves, how it is that we are loving ourselves, how it is that we are sorting through what it is that we want, need, and desire for ourselves, what it is that we want to do in our lives to support more happiness, more joy, more pleasure in our lives. Having that reminder, having that focus is definitely going to bring us heart center, heart aligned again, and really kind of remind us what it is that we're pushing for, what it is that we're passionate about, what it is that we're absolutely looking to pursue. The moon is going to get into the boxing ring with Pluto, the great transformer himself. This is not going to feel good. This is not going to bring happy thoughts, nor is it going to bring happy feelings, and it may actually bring some not so happy circumstances. The goal here is to illuminate where a change of heart, a change of mind, a change of direction is needed. Now, that never feels good, to understand where it is that you've been banging your head against a wall, where it's not working, where it's not resolving. It never feels good. Even more than that, Pluto is super, super intense, like rules over the deep end of the pool, while the Libran energy only resides in the shallow end of the pool. So you can definitely expect a feeling of flailing, a feeling of conflict, a feeling of struggle, because here we have the moon in Libran energy, who is only comfortable in the shallow end, doing a deep dive off of the diving board in the deep end of the pool that we don't feel comfortable in swimming in. So you best believe that a major change, a major transformation is going to come out of this feeling of uncomfortability and discontentment. But of course, you have to sit through it in order to break through it, and the sitting in it is never fun. Mars, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires, in the latter degrees now of this Virgo energy as he prepares to shift into Libran energy late next week, is going to be interacting with the North Node in Aries that, of course, he rules over. He's in his rulership for the next 18 months, trying to show us where, collectively speaking, we got to get on the right path in order to really identify who it is that we are, what it is that we want, what it is that we're passionate about, what it is that we desire, what it is that makes us special as a unique individual. Of course, we are just kind of scratching the surface of this particular life lesson nonetheless, but Mars interacting with the North Node in this way is going to show us where it is that we have two different directions, two paths, two choices being illuminated for us. And of course, one of those paths and choices is to stay doing the same old, banging our head against a wall, hoping for change, hoping for transformation, but yet running away from it the minute that it knocks on the door. Of course, the other path, decision, direction that is being illuminated is going to require us to be more bold and brave and courageous than we've ever been, more inspired and motivated and determined to not let the challenges, the obstacles, and the restrictions actually prevent us from getting on the path that we desire to be on, to, of course, bring new happiness, new joy, new pleasure, new opportunities to our physical realm. The last aspect that the moon in Libran energy is going to make before going void, of course, is a beautiful sextile with the sun in Leo energy. So what I love about this is that there is a certain amount of growth taking place in our inner realm. There is a certain amount of, I'm going to say, decision. We're not coming to a decision, but we're leaning one side, one choice, one path, one direction over the other. And of course, the sun shining a bright light in this Leo energy is showing us where it is that we have to align with our heart space. And that may mean abandoning giving two F's about what Jim, Bob, and Harry actually think about the choices, the goals, the visions that we are currently trying to push ourselves into pursuing. And so this sextile is emerging of our emotional realm with our physical realm. It is realizing where it is that we have to let go, break free, release, if you will, surrender to some of the things that we're desperately holding on to in order to push us into new, uncharted territory, foreign land, if you will, to see what is possible for us when we actually align with our heart space and put our own wants, needs, and desires first.